So I think I've got an idea. I built out this big base centered around this mob tower, and I want to build something around it. I had some ideas, and I even started designing something that I really liked. But now I kind of want to do something a little bit different with that design. So that means I got to change up my idea for the center here. And I think I'm going to go with a monolith. It kind of goes along with the same theme of having the portal kind of have the room built around it. Like it's sort of being preserved by the towers and everything around here. And yeah, kind of, you know, that future ancient sort of thing going on. I did find this cool picture from this Lego design online, and I think that's what I'm going to model the monolith off of. I genuinely have no idea who originally designed this thing, but it is super cool looking and I really like it. And it definitely fits the ancient technology vibe of things, you know, kind of like really old school alien technology built into stone and rocks and all that kind of stuff. If you're familiar with ancient alien theory, can't even say it with a straight face, but it's you know, kind of the whole alien conspiracy thing. That's very much a part of like how they believe things to have worked. Yeah, all that's just like fun alien stuff. It's kind of the lore of the ancient alien conspiracy and all of that. It's funny to me. But I do really like the aesthetic of it all. I think it looks really cool. And the first thing I need to do is actually build up a little platform here. I want to go up 5 blocks and have the monolith sitting on top of it. And I also need a whole bunch of black dye because I'm going to be using dark prismarine in this. Wait, am I using dark prismarine? Nope. Not using dark prismarine. Never mind. So I'm going to go ahead and build that up, and then we're going to build the monolith right on top of that. And there we go. We got ourselves a nice mound. It actually turned out a little bit better than I thought it was going to. I really like the real steep look to it. Just kind of have like a nice jutting out little portion here. I'll probably end up doing something kind of similar on these middle parts and having it like these pathways are sort of dug into the ground. There is a ton of terraforming that needs to be done, and I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do it all, honestly, so I'm not going to rush into it too far, you know, kind of take the project slow and let it evolve naturally and let the ideas come to me. But now we got to just build up the monolith. It's going to be made out of stone and prismarine. I'm going to be using just the regular like cobblestone prismarine because it's got this cool like animated effect where it changes colors slightly, and I think that kind of gives a nice like powered effect, like as if there's, you know, ancient technology and electricity running through the monolith. It'll have just a slight little bit of variation to it, so if you stare at it the colors are kind of changed. It will be very subtle though, because this is a super subtle animation that they've got on this stuff. You can see it a little bit better when it's on the ground, but you know, kind of just goes between like really blue and kind of like greenish turquoisey colors. Very subtle change and very slow progression too. Alright, now I just gotta build up the actual stone monolith. I think I'm gonna put the stone in first, and then I'm gonna come back around and put in the indentations with the prismarine. It's gonna be a bit of a big project, so let's go ahead and jump into a time lapse. This thing turned out a little bit bigger than I was planning for it to, but I think it looks just fine. I did have to go around all the edges and okay, there we go. I had to put string pretty much everywhere. This part didn't need it just because it's 1 block tall, but anywhere there's spawn platforms on the outside, I had to go put string on, and I also had to put them on the inside as well. I actually didn't use string on the inside though. So I can get into the monolith just right from the top. There's an elevator block here, which brings me right to the AFK spot. And on the inside, I used slabs just to make sure there was no spawn platforms all the way down into the monument, or monolith. I know, it's dark in here, but there should be enough space on all of the sides for any mob to fall down. I think occasionally spiders might end up catching on the edges here, but honestly, I haven't really seen any. I haven't done a big test yet, though. So, you know, just like a little 15-minute AFK session with some replay mod, that'll probably be a good test to let me know if I'm getting any issues from the mob farm with this monolith around it. Now that that is put together, I figure we could probably do a little bit more work terraforming. I kind of want to do the bits in the middle here, and I want to do a little bit more work around the edges, just kind of working along the biome. So I'm going to go ahead and place some stuff. I've placed a good amount already, which with all these like hills and stuff, I think it's starting to look pretty cool. It's definitely very barren, so I need to probably get some trees and some weird oddities and probably, you know, definitely some end course growing around here, but that's going to be a bit of a project altogether. I'll probably end up including some water as well to kind of really strike out that this is like the overworld. This isn't another dimension and like kind of alien growth on a planet sort of vibe. I am at the point of building out this biome though, where I need to knock down these structures, which they've been here for a while. They were really like the starter structures. This one over here, these ruins are from our original villager trading hall, which kind of sucked, honestly. This, you know, this one's been here the whole time, and this pretty much has too, but it's kind of time for them to come down. I still have a little starter base over where I did a little tree house in one of the early episodes in this series, and I really like this biome that it's in. I think it's a really cool biome. The inspiration didn't quite strike. I wasn't really quite knowing what I wanted to do out here, so I wanted a bit more of a blank canvas like the plains provide. But this is a little treehouse that I've got in here, and it's really minimal, honestly. Like, I just had some villagers running around here, and this was going to be a villager trading hall, but I just kind of, again, gave up on that whole thing until we got to the towers over on the main base. But, you know, then I had a little treehouse in the leaves over here where I had some chests and going all the way down into the ground. This is where I did all my initial mining, and I've done a lot of excavation down there, just getting like deep slate, so it's a mess. I go down there occasionally, but at this point in the game, I'm not really using that area very much. But I am going to keep it just because it's a little bit of like a keepsake, you know, a memento from the early game, you know, something to go back to, a little monument. At this point, it's kind of ruins. And the same thing I think is going to hold true for this stuff down here. Like, this will probably just end up sitting underneath the end stone layer here. Maybe I'll end up like building a little cave into it, and we can just kind of have it be like the ruins of what once was. I'll probably end up knocking down some of this floating stuff just because it looks really weird. Or even, you know, maybe I'll just put some more wood around it to kind of make it look like it is supposed to. To make it look like it doesn't defy physics. Alright, unfortunately, I do have to go ahead and tear this stuff down, so sorry, buddy. Dance party's over. When I first built out this big flat platform, I wasn't really sure because it was looking really weird, but I knew it was what I wanted to do. So once I got some of this land covered and got some hills in here, now it's really starting to look like what I want. And also, I managed to just kind of cover up some of that other stuff from down below. So we've got actually a few little bits of things for ruins down there. And I kind of really like the idea now that I look at it. So when we come under here, you can basically see it's just kind of all the stuff that we had before going on. But, you know, obviously, it's it looks like it's all destroyed. And I think if we come in here and kind of just remove a layer of grass and stone, we can put in just endstone everywhere and make it look like a little endstone cave where the ruins are just kind of built in here, sort of grown over by time, and sediment deposits have just built up over eons and eons, and that will give us kind of a really cool effect. We'll make it like a little way in here, and I think it, let's see, here we go. We'll, can't have it be so square like that, so let's try to break it up a little bit. I do need some light in here just to make sure mobs don't spawn. Throw one down there, that's perfect. Yeah, something like that. Put a little bit more in the corner here. Let's just bring that down to the ground. Yeah, I mean, it's really simple and kind of just like a small little touch. But every time we find ourselves down here for some odd reason or another, it'll just kind of be cool to see this and just reminisce about the past and where the world all started. This is a fun little project to do. I mean, it's really nothing like crazy or anything like super creative or fancy or anything, but I do think it's just adds a nice little touch to the world, you know. Having that little bit of background story is kind of a fun little thing that I really love to incorporate into builds. Unfortunately, I do think that's going to be just about all the time I have for today's video. And now that we've reached episode number 25 of Vault Hunters, I think it's time that I do a little bit more work on some other worlds. So that does not mean the end of Vault Hunters by any means. This is going to go on for a very, very long time. But it does mean that we're going to do some different videos, do some different styles, try some different stuff out, and just hang out in some of the different servers. And again, I said it a lot in the last video, but I want to thank you guys so much for the first 100 subscribers on the channel. It is a huge milestone and really means a lot to me. I did put out 100 days in hardcore Minecraft video, so if you haven't seen that one yet, make sure you go check that out. And that's just a little celebration for the first 100 subscribers. So if you've made it this far in the video and you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button. If you don't mind leaving a like and let me know what kind of videos you'd like to see in the future, I'd really appreciate that as well. And thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I will see you in the next one. Bye.